Hey guys, it's Thunder Splash, and welcome to the stream. Anyway, we're going to work on some game dev. So this is the finished version of it, which I turned into my professor for my portfolio. So hopefully it's up to snuff. We'll see. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Fingers crossed. I put a lot of effort into it. The last time we did the stream, I was obviously further. I wasn't as far along as I am now with it. Putting a lot of hours afterwards just so I can button up a few things. But just to give you guys a little perspective, put it right here. So we changed it up quite a bit. I think it looks pretty cool. Got a sky. Like, pretty excited. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And then, we'll just chat for a little bit as I'm working on something else. All right. Like, already right there, it just feels better. I like it. I want to do that again. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. I like it. So I packaged the game already, and the packaged game runs really smooth, obviously, because it's a standalone game. All right, so it's not going to be. It's a little sluggish on here, but that's because there's a lot of stuff running around. But let's take a look. I added in the slow-mo I talked about. I really like that. I love it a lot. Let's see. We still got the pause. Still got that. What I want to do for the game though is, because I noticed a flaw when I was playing it. So the game, well, first off, let me. There we go. I have some music. Okay, cool. I noticed a flaw, right? So when I play the game standalone, what happens is the person's not able to just leave the game. They have to press P to pause the game, and then they have to quit. I know it's kind of frustrating, right? Because you want to play the game, and all of a sudden it's like you're stuck on a part, or maybe you just want to replay the level. Well, you shouldn't have to quit the game just to restart the game. So I need to add into that part. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add in something there. I'm gonna just let that load for a second because you're being weird. But here we go. So I still have people walking. Pretty happy about that. I'll have to fix up the nav mesh because they're looking pretty good there. But I've noticed something, that these people over here will get caught up on the light pole right here, the little street lamp. So I need to do it to where they're able to walk around it. The same thing over here. Like, this character was able to go around it, the NPC, but she's still stuck. All right. So I need to figure out how to make that look a little bit cleaner. I like how there's an NPC in the background, as you can see, still walking from street to street. And the way I set it up was I added in a nav mesh along the sidewalk, and I made it just from sidewalk as the length of the sidewalk, so the length and the width. So it's really skinny. And then I had it come over here, really skinny. And so basically it's like a square, okay? And I'll show you guys once I get to the once I leave this play mode. All right, so that slow-mo looks sick. Really happy about that. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Maybe what I'll do is I had it to where the players would pick up the key cards from NPCs and whatnot. So this key card is obviously just sitting on the back of the NPC right there. Okay, so it's like, it looks almost like a cell phone kind of just hanging out of her back pocket. So I'll have to work on that. But see, I grabbed the key card. But I like this, it's pretty cool, you know. This guy's going through some stuff right here, and she's being an asshole. You know, just playing sad violin. I thought that's pretty cool. I wanted the level to tell a little bit of a story, so I'm pretty happy about that. The backgrounds were images that got online. They were free backgrounds. Most people don't have a problem with using their backgrounds and stuff or whatever, as long as it's just for educational stuff. So obviously we're not making this into a game to be bought, so you know, it's not a big deal. And then as long as you give credit to people don't really care for the most part. So we grabbed the key card, okay, and we fixed the problem where when we got too close, the orb would be automatically collected. Okay, so now the orb's not going to just be collected when I get to it. Okay, that was the issue we had before. So I got the key card, I press E, open up the breaker box, and now I got to press E again, and I picked it up, and it says cool, 1 of 6 orbs collected. Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this look a little smoother, because the way it opens up, it opens like a door essentially, and you know, ideally maybe I should put it to where the breaker box falls forward instead of just open up to the side. I don't know, we'll figure that out a little bit later. This is cool too. The blue launch pad is super jump. Okay, so the regular launch pads are normal jump, and this one's super jump, and I wanted it so the player could have more than enough jump so they can make it across to this secret area over here. I have the lockers, and you know, there's like a little gym going on here. I thought that was pretty cool. This guy's struggling with the planks. And then they're doing like some kickboxing class, a boxing class. We'll grab the key over here. There's TV going on right there. And, you know, I know it's outside, they're on a roof, but I figured, hey, it's the future, man. It's like cyberpunk stuff. So, I mean, you don't really have to explain it too much. Maybe it's like, what are those things called? Not a penthouse, but I forget what it's called. But basically, it's like in a suite, like a, where people like are at the top of a building or something. I forget what it's called. It's penthouse suite. It's something. I forget what it's called. But basically, like, it's like a really fancy hotel or something, or a condo, whatever. And they have a place out front, you know, they're on the top floor, where they can just kind of like just see like the city and stuff. So I wanted it to be something like that, but I also wanted it to be like on the rooftop to kind of do like its own little secret area. All right, cool. Anyway, so the player's not going to know to press Q to slow down time, okay? So I thought maybe, you know, if they just travel around the game, they can explore new things, okay? So when the player's jumping around, they're like, oh, you know, the launch pads are kind of crappy. Well, I wouldn't say they're crappy, but it's just when you jump on a launch pad, you can't really control it so much, you know? So I want it to be where the character is just trying to get from point A to point B using the launch pad, and they'll get pretty good at maneuvering it, right? And then I want them to just kind of discover the world and get on this rooftop. And it shows these two NPCs, and you know, they're praying, and I thought it was really cool because they're worshiping this floating thing, which is a key card, because wow, it's floating, you know, what's going on? And also just there's something special over here, right? So I'm gonna pick up the key card, but it says press Q to control time. So this is the first time the player should be introduced to the whole concept of a player, a mechanic they can do on their own, okay, versus just the world. And so when I press Q, obviously you've seen it, but it slows down time. So I thought it'd be pretty cool if I had these NPCs kind of be an Easter egg, but more so just, you know, hey, something special, crazy is over here. And then also your character's controlling time, dude. Like, that's like on some god shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a character can control time around them, time and space, man, like, they're OP in their world. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted it to be something like that. And I had a little ramp up here, and I thought this was pretty cool. I wanted it to be like the nightclub, and got the DJ doing his thing, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. Okay, so obviously we're over here. Open up more of these breaker boxes. Got 2 of 6 orbs completed. I mean, collected. Now I had some issues with this. It's a little tricky. trying to jump on this thing correctly. So we're going to slow it down so I don't mess this up horribly. And we failed anyway. Okay, that's how good we are over here. Luckily though, I made it to where there's multiple ways to get to one area, so I didn't want the player to feel like they were screwed. I gotta fix that jump pad though, because it should be as soon as you touch it, you jump, you know, but this one you have to like jump up on it, you know. So we're gonna jump on there. There we go. So it doesn't really matter too much with the drones. The drones are just kind of like a cool little thing like that you could fly on if you really wanted to, but you don't really need the drones to be able to get to where you need to get on the map. And that was the whole point. I wanted to make it to where the player could really feel that they could maneuver wherever they wanted to go. Coming down. As you can see, these NPCs are getting stuck. I'm gonna have to fix these light poles. I have to get that figured out. I thought it was pretty cool, just giving like the characters a little bit more life. He's on his phone. He's over here scrolling through something. She's texting, checking her phone for some stuff. All right, my bad. Damn, dude. And then the robot over here is looking for something to drink. I thought that was pretty cool. We're gonna go back up. There's a cat. I love it. We're gonna steal this thing because it looks like it's watching the magic key card. Thinks it's pretty cool. Sorry, we're gonna just take that from you. Thank you. All right. And we're gonna go up here. This person's working out on top of a roof. I thought that's pretty cool. Take your key card. Thank you. Cool. 4 of 6 orbs collected. We'll go there last. This NPC, the one that started it all, just kind of just figuring out life right there. I think it's pretty cool. But I also want them to look up. Okay, I think that was cool to make them look up because it's gonna direct the player's eyes there. Although the player should be able to see up anyway because they'll notice it after the cutscene's over. I think this would be like a really good, what's it called? Like a poster or not even poster, like a screenshot or something like that. Maybe it'd be pretty cool. Oops. Anyway, something like that. Okay, so we're coming over here. I wanted to put more stuff in the street, like, you know, like the lines, and I had some stuff set up where I was going to just do cars driving around, stuff like that, and I even had like spaceships like flying, right? But I just didn't have enough time to do it. I didn't have enough time for myself to do it, so I just kind of had to make do with what it was. And then when I brought him in the game, there was an issue with the objects as far as textures and stuff, and I'm gonna have to go through here and scrub some of this stuff and tighten it up a little bit. But it worked out pretty good. But yes, I would have loved to have had some spaceships just flying around. That's gonna be one of the goals, to start putting some spaceships and then maybe like some vehicles in the street just driving around. And then I really like how shiny this is. This is I think it's burnished steel, I think it is. It looks like water, kind of, you know. That wasn't the intent. It was just supposed to be like something really clear or reflective, because I just liked how it looked, you know. I don't like that part, and I think that's because it's the material. It's like, I don't know what the house thing is going on right there, but how everything's reflecting off it, I really thought it was cool. But I might go back to the original where I'll just make it super bright, maybe-ish, so it's like it's neon, so it feels as if the character's doing something in a futuristic world. And then we're gonna go up here. And like I said, I wanted to give this game as much character as possible. I wanted to give the level its own personality. I thought maybe, just maybe, if I made some things interesting for the player, then the player would want to explore the game more. I thought this was pretty cool. Big fan of Cowboy Bebop. It's like one of my all-time favorite anime. I grew up watching it, so I like that. See Space Cowboy, and they're doing Spike's gun pointing thing, if you will, when he pointed his finger. That was pretty cool. But I also thought it'd be like Blade Runner kind of ish, you know, where the main character is fighting the robot on the roof. But I thought it'd be pretty cool. And also it's kind of playing a little shout out to Fallout, because I believe there was a scene, it was an Easter egg where it was something similar to this. But I thought it was pretty cool. But there's like a story going on here. You know, something happened, and this NPC has just been rocked. And I'm gonna go just take this tablet from them real quick. I mean the key card. Cool. Let's see. And then this is, like I said, I had it before where it derez and it was looking super cool, but it made it too dark and I could not see the rest of the level, and I thought that was kind of a shame because I feel like it really looks pretty good. All right, and then this is the last key card we're gonna get. And like I said, the whole slowing down time was supposed to make it to where it made it easier to travel from point A to point B, because like, let's just be frank, you know, the launch pads kind of suck, you know, and you have to do a lot of tweaking, and I'm just not trying to do all that. So I thought it'd be really cool. We're in 5 of 6. So where is the last one? Oh, you know, I know where the last one's at. Oh, and this was pretty cool too. I had someone just hanging out up there, like they're just like living life kind of, but they look like they're, let's see if we can get up there real quick. We'll get there. We'll get there. Third time's a charm. Oh, pro skills. Anyway, this is pretty cool. Like, this looks sick, dude. All right. I have this actually as like what's it called? A thumbnail, but that looks sick. But I thought it would be kind of cool. Like I said, the game, I want it to be like where characters they're just messing around. You know, the player needs to just figure out what's going on in this world. You know, it's obviously something going on. You got an NPC just got blown away. You got a cat that's got the key card. You got another NPC contemplating, you know, decisions in life. You have this one just hanging out on top of this up here. I think it's pretty cool. I love it. You know, I just wanted to kind of give it some kind of story of some sort, you know. All right, and then the last key card, it's right over there, if you can see it, where the character's head's kind of tilted, like right there. So we're gonna go there and grab that because we missed it. We missed it. Okay, also, I didn't make any like health, okay, and my reasoning for that was, I don't know if any of y'all have played Gris, okay? It's a really great game, I love it. But it's a 2D exploration type game where you're collecting things, right? But there's no death in it, if you will, you know, and it's just a game where you travel and you collect items, or excuse me, well, I guess they're not really items, but you collect orbs of some sort, you know, and you're exploring the level. But as you're collecting these things, you have to collect sorry guys, I'm almost sick today. You have to collect a certain amount of orbs and stuff to be able to go to the next part, you know. And there's no dying in it. It's just more so just you either complete it or you save it and you come back later. So I thought that's pretty cool. All right, cool. And now we're at the last part. Open this up. We got the orb. Boom, 6 of 6 orbs collected. Okay. Now, the player's trying to figure out, well, what do we do now? Well, we go back up here. If you don't remember what we're supposed to do, we'll go back up there real quick. Oh, actually, I want to show this part. I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, I think we can show it from there. These guys are just hanging outside that club. I think that's pretty cool. Like, there's a whole club going on behind them. Everyone's just hanging out, and they're just like, they don't care. They're just trying to, they're just, it's whatever. They're just hanging out. I think that's really cool. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so the last part. Let's go back up here just because, you know, we weren't paying attention, right? Okay, so press P to pause the trial. Press P. Resume the game. E grabs items, we did that. Use launch pads to collect key cards, did that. Collect the orbs inside the breaker boxes, did that. Now press R when all orbs are collected. Boom. Okay, and then that's it. Good. Quit or restart the game. Now I'm gonna restart it real quick, but I'm gonna go through just the very first part. Just say what my thought process was. This right here is sick, dude. All right, like, just, I love how the world is derezzed. Okay, like that was, I wanted that so bad to be a thing. Okay, because I wanted it so bad to be a thing. What's that? Okay. That's right, because I called it during the cutscene. But yeah, the world is so you don't see anybody. Then all of a sudden you see the robot, okay? But they're coming to live with the world, okay? So already right there, you know the robot's not supposed, like, you know, the only one real is the player. I think that's pretty cool, okay? Like you see nothing, you know. This character's like, I got you, bro. Like, you know, you're not fooling me. Like I love it, you know. Like I love that. I really worked on that. That was I just love that. I don't know why, but I love the look. Okay, I love the tone it's giving off. You know, it's giving off the whole that it's ominous. It's more of a like, and just FYI, right? These characters, they're all the same height. You know, this one's not bigger, but because how the camera angles position and stuff, okay, it looks good. Like it looks like menacing. Like I, because this is my thought process, right? In any type of game that's talked about like the future with AI and whatnot, the characters are there's always a struggle between the humans and the machines, right? So the humans are always like, you're not real, you know, and then the robots are like, but I am real. I have emotions and stuff, you know. And there's a lot of games where they talk about AI, you know, is artificial intelligence real? You know, is that really a thing where like it can, you know, display emotions? Can it ever be human? So a lot of those good sci-fi movies I've seen, you know, they kind of sprinkle those, you know, themes inside their game, you know, the movies. So I wanted the game to kind of feel like that a little bit too, you know. This human right here, and it's weird too because I guess theoretically they'd kind of be a cyborg, but not really because they're human, you know, but they have cyber parts. So I guess you wouldn't really call them a cyborg, but maybe you would kind of, just because they have human stuff. But essentially they're still human. But this is a straight up robot, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things like I wanted it to feel as if the player was looking down on this robot, and I wanted the player to feel as if that there was no type of remorse when it comes to when it came to whatever this player needed to do. Okay, and I know that sounds kind of jacked up, but I figured maybe later I would show that these characters weren't that much different. You know, that the robot was acting more human than the actual human was being, and the human was starting to act more robotic. Okay, but I wanted to also have some kind of theme where that's what makes a human human, because the idea of just deciding randomly just to not care anymore. I think that was pretty cool. I know it's kind of heavy, but for this project though, like I said, the biggest thing was I really just wanted to kind of give off the vibe that hey, you're in a not a real world, you're in a cyber futuristic world, and this robot is a robot like everything else here. Everything else here is artificial, you know, and just you and maybe a few others like you are in this world are actually human. But I wanted it to feel that way. But it comes off like you're the bad guy. I don't want it to be that way, but I just want it to be like, you know, you're looking at this robot like everything else, like it's a tool, you know, like when you have a cell phone, are you getting mad at your cell phone, you know, or are you treating your cell phone like it's a person? Well, you're just looking at your cell phone like it's a tool. Same thing with this. I think a really cool camera angle for maybe a cutscene, if I decide to do it later, would be something like it zooms in, but it'll show this, and then the camera will pan, and then it'll do that. But the one I also thought would be pretty cool is maybe if I had it to where they're not so different, maybe it would show this, like if it pans and like it does this number, boom, and then as it comes this way, it's the robot doing that towards the human. That'd be pretty cool. I gotta figure out how I want to do all that, but I think it'd be really cool for a cutscene. Oops, I do not want to do that. But anyway, just want to show you guys exactly what I've been working on so far and kind of where the updates were with that. My thought process, like I said, I was inspired by Cyberpunk, Gris, Blade Runner 2049, I think it is. I really like those type of shows, those movies. I don't know. I really like those things. And I want my worlds, the games I design, I want them to kind of reflect that a little bit. Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, those are my shows I really love. Let me see. There's a couple of other shows I'm forgetting right now, but I wanted that kind of futuristic slash cyberpunk vibe, and I thought this worked out pretty good. Like I said, I'm happy with what I see so far. I don't really have any complaints about the game. I would have loved to make flying cars, like I said, but it was just I had some issues, or not flying cars, but flying spaceships, and then I wanted to make cars on the ground, but I was having, like I said, I was having some issues, so it is what it is. Let me think. So my thoughts so far. I'd say this took about a week, maybe a week and a half, and it's not really more so of a hey, I didn't put a lot of effort into it. I put a lot of effort into it, like hours and hours and hours, right? But it's just I was able to get this done, and I was able to work on it and manipulate things the way I wanted to. But as you guys saw a few streams ago, I had it set up, but I mean, like, I still changed quite a bit, you know, like, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there was a lot of things still messed up. For example, the map looked different. You know, I had to ungroup these things and move them around. I had to detail this stuff up a little bit. I had to tighten up a lot of things. There was a lot of little things that were not working right, just because I didn't have time. What I want to do is, though, I want to add in remember I told you guys I'll just show you real quick. But remember I told you when I was pressing play and I'm playing the game and I'm not able to actually just restart it whenever I want. I want to fix that, okay? Because it's actually pretty simple, but it's one of those things that'll piss off a person trying to play it, because, like, let's say I just want to restart the level real quick. I shouldn't have to just quit. I should be able to just hit restart, okay? Like, I can resume. That's cool, you know, super, but I can't quit, you know? So we're going to fix that real quick. And then what I'm going to do is also, so I can kind of get into that mindset of trying to be professional, I'm going to clean all this up, okay? Because I was in such a crunch. So I'm going to start putting these in their appropriate folders and whatnot. I'm going to get those squared away. Like, I was doing it initially, and then I just kind of said, all right, screw it. I don't really have time. So I'm going to fix those things. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to my HUD, or not the HUD. We're going to go to my widget for the pause, and we're going to fix that. And this is another reason why I need to organize this, because I shouldn't be spending 10 years trying to find this thing. All right, cool. So now we're going to add a restart button. Do that. Oh, real quick, I almost forgot. There we go. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so now we're back. Okay, get that one. I'm going to duplicate that. And we're going to call this one restart. Restart. Let's change the text to restart as well. Restart. Cool. And then we're going to move right here. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know. Let's see. Hold up. Yeah, okay. Da-dum-dum-dum. Copy. Paste. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. All right, dude. All right, cool. Now let's go to graph. Graph. Yeah, graph. Why did I say that weird? I don't know. Okay. Now we're going to fix these things. Restart. Here we go. On restart, we're going to... Oh, I'm dumb. Right? I thought it was smart. Okay, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Whatever. Whatever. This works too. There you go. Okay, cool. So unclicked, restart button. Okay, we're going to open level, okay, by name, right? And this level, you can do references and stuff too, but we're just gonna do by name. Yo. Yoko. Edited. All right, cool. So what this is going to do is whenever we hit pause and hit the restart button, it's going to just restart the map. Okay, so now a simple fix. We don't have to worry about it screwing up every time. Now watch. We're going to play real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, cool. Pause it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. All right, simple fix. And it looks clean too. You know what I'm saying? It's polished up. Okay. That's how it's supposed to be. That looked great. Cool. I want that to be bigger. And I'm just like being extra right now, guys. I'm not too crazy. Make this in the middle, I think. Yes. Yeah, I can't tell. Normally it'll do like normally it'll help me out. I don't feel like I'm centered. I think that's good. I think that's good. I don't know. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. Okay, I think that's good. We're good there. Send it. Save it. Okay, cool. That looks good. Okay, so the pause menu looks good. We fixed that one. Like I said, that was the biggest issue before, or one of the biggest issues. I'm feeling pretty good there. Let me pause this because I wonder if that's going to screw this thing up. Okay, real quick. So I said before, the D-Res looks really cool because, like I said, it's like you're spawning into this new world. Okay, that was the whole premise of what I was trying to get into, right? Like I said before, I don't know if you guys played it, but Assassin's Creed, they have this really cool thing where the world just kind of like de-reses around them, which is really cool. So it was a big inspiration there. And then also Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse, that was cool too. You know, where Miles is like going, like when he's swinging through, you know, his world, he's like teleporting. You know, I thought it was really cool how the colors and stuff went. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I'm gonna press play one more time. This took a while, but I feel like it was well worth it because I feel like I got the really cool effect. Okay. So anyway, we'll exit out. Cool. All right. So the next order of business is I'm gonna have to get this stuff cleaned up. Okay. So that'll be something I need to work on. If you guys got any questions or comments or suggestions and stuff, please feel free to, you know, leave a comment. You know, I'll see it when I'm able to see it, and then, you know, we'll adjust from that. But yeah, this is my school project. It's a solo thing. I did all this on my own. The only stuff I did not do was I did not create the characters. I got them on Fab. I think that's what it's called. And well, actually, I downloaded them initially from the Unreal Store, right? And then they got converted to Fab, so I guess it's technically Fab. But anyway, it was from the store. So I did not create the characters. You know, that was all already done for me. I did rig them though to where they matched the mannequins, but then I realized I didn't have to really do all that because reasons. And then the animations, I made sure the animations were fine. I tweaked them a little bit here and there, and the buildings I got that as an asset pack, but I ended up like reconfiguring them. And that's about it. Everything else that I put together, you know, piece by piece. Like I said, there's pipes and other stuff here. Like that was part of the pack, right? Because of the buildings and stuff. But placing them all over the map and figuring out how I want to like strategically move stuff. Nah, that was all me, my friend. I had to, and I grouped the things together too. That took forever and a half. Like this, for example, that's one little piece. That's another little piece. It's another little piece. Like there's nothing but pieces here, right? Let's fix that real quick though. All right, cool. I do want to do something with the floor. Okay, remember I said earlier, I liked the way it looked because it was like reflecting and stuff. Well, we can change it really quick, but like I said, I'm gonna show you what I initially had in mind. But I just felt like it was just like it looks really cool, right? But the problem here is though it just seems kind of confusing. Like it would almost seem like is it snow? Like it looks really cool. Like the city really lights up. Like it looks really cool, man. But what would I call that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and could I just cheese it and say it is snowing? Like I could say it's snowing and that would kill all those issues right there, right? Like if I just made this snow instead and had the ground covered with snow, that would work. You know, like that's cool. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I need to do something with it. I thought maybe making concrete, like steel or something, like Cyberpunk, like because I feel like the game, like it looks like a regular city like nowadays, right? Except for there's just future stuff, right? There's robots and people and everything's modified to a certain degree and the buildings, you know, I use references, so I don't know, you know, but I do like the vibe of the city being pretty bright, you know, but I also want that darkness to it as well. Let's see. And that was just too bright. Like I say, it looks cool. Like it looks really cool, right? Like this looks pretty cool. But like, make it make sense, right? Same thing with, I think it was this one. Nah, that doesn't look good at all. The white looks better, but, or actually rather, the blue probably looked better. Oh, and then also, hold up, we'll just kill the music on this thing real quick, so I don't have to keep going back and forth through it. I'll just kill this real quick. All right, cool. Now I don't have to keep pausing that. Like it looks cool, you know what I'm saying, but it's kind of much, you know, because it's super bright. You see that? Like it's like wow. Like I don't like that. We'll have to figure that part out. Wow. Yeah, we'll have to figure out that part. I gotta do something with it because I don't want to confuse the player. But I don't know. I gotta figure out that part. Let's go back to what we had before. Burnished. No, that wasn't what it was. What were you? That's not what you were. What were you? Was it brushed, maybe? I think it was brushed metal. Yeah, it was brushed metal. Okay, cool. Like I said, I like the reflection off of that, but I was told it also looked like water, and I was like, I don't want the water. I thought it'd be really cool though if this was like maybe in the air, and then maybe this is like the, you know, like sky or something right there. But like I said, I gotta tweak that part. I gotta figure out that part. I don't think that's terribly too hard, but I gotta figure it out. Sorry guys, I'm just not feeling my best. Man, allergies are really bad. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good though. Like I said, you guys got any comments, questions? Let me know what's up, and I'll answer them as best as I can. Initially, this was supposed to have, like I said, it was supposed to have like a portal that lets you go to another world. I just didn't have time, so I made this like a standalone thing. But let's see what else we're gonna do here. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna clear all this stuff up. So the next time, actually, probably can just do some of that right now. Actually, yeah, we can do some of that right now. All right, animations. Can we make a new folder, please? There we go. My animations. Oh wow, I spelled animations wrong right next to it too. I'm so dumb. That's so funny. This one says NPC animations. That's funny. Let's fix that. That's so funny. Animations. All right, cool. Cool. Crisis averted. All right, so we have these animations. I'm gonna put them over here. Where are you? I need to make it. I'm gonna make this a different color. I'm gonna make this green or whatever, so I can see them better. There we go. All right. So you and you are going into my animations folder. Move here. Thank you. Same thing with you. And you. That's probably it. And then the level. Where did I put my levels? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And baby makes 5. My levels, put you in here. Oh, you know what? I can't move that in there. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what the issue was with that. Source code, text files we need to find and replace. Otherwise, nah, screw that. I don't want to mess anything up. Let's do the material stuff. That should be fine. There we go. Get him out of here. Let's do widgets. The blueprints. Get him out of here. Key card. Oh, that is right. Yeah, I was gonna say, why do I have a second one of that? Let's rename that. Make that 2. And I want to take that one, this. Where are you at? And we're gonna move these over here. Cool. So this game, or this demo level, whatever you want to call it, I made it using blueprints, and so that was how I did it. I've seen some people, just do, code like where it's, I believe it's C+, but I was using strictly blueprints. My materials, send you there. Thank you. Did I put textures there too? Yeah, I sure did. We'll just move those there too while we're at it. Hey, so I fixed a few things too, guys. So I originally had like a map going on here too. But I realized when I had the map, it was screwing some stuff up because every time I started the game and I derezzed it, the map would like disappear too. And I just figured, it is what it is. I don't have to add it in there. Like I know I can do the map. My portfolio shows other maps, so I'm not even going to trip. So I just assumed the professor. I don't think it's that crucial. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think the professor's gonna care like that. Skeletons. There you go. All right, cool. 1, 2, 3. And remember, we're just cleaning this stuff up because I had just been all over the place before. A new dash. I want to move that animations right here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that one. I got rid of that one. I believe I deleted that one. Texture. Put that there. Skeleton. And then we're going to color this one green so we make sure we don't lose it. Put the bot there. Animation. Put that there. Another skeleton. Yeah, we could put this one there too for the animations because that's something I modified. Okay. Montages. My anti-montage. Color you green. Physical assets. My physics assets. All right. Get you right here. Okay, looking good. Okay, so I'm liking that so far. I gotta figure out what's going on with those. I'm gonna save all. Widget. Sprite, my assets. Where do I have an assets folder just for assets, not the other stuff? Nah, that's fine. I don't. I'll make a miscellaneous folder. There There she goes. Alright, so now I'm just going to put the rest of these in the miscellaneous folder. We'll just get that done. I'm going to save. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. It looks good. Looks good so far. We'll probably delete some of these things off stream. We'll get them cleaned up. But like I said, I think we're pretty good on this map. Like I said, I added in a restart, so that's cool. I'm gonna package it. What is it? I think if you guys check it out on YouTube, there's gonna be a link in the description. It'll have a link to my game, or you know, playable demo, if you will. You guys can play it, you know, leave comments on it or whatever. Tell me what you guys think, you know, tell me what you want me to add to it. Remember, it's a personal school project / portfolio thing. So I mean, like, I won't be offended whatever you guys say. It's all for me to get better anyway at the end of the day. So yeah, just let me know what y'all think. Just like give some feedback. You know, I appreciate it, whatever it might be. You know. But yes. And what I want to do for the next stream is I want to do like maybe some my thoughts on game development, but more so just like working on these little projects, right? Because I want to make this. I need to make a bigger project essentially. I have all these really good ideas, but I just kind of like need to work on them. So I'm gonna start. My streams are gonna start working on these projects, and we'll just kind of chat along as we do it, and then I'll give you guys my take on it. And my YouTube channel talks about. It does tutorials on the things the pros do, so I think maybe we'll chat about that stuff as well too. What's realistic and then what's just kind of not realistic. Such as, you know, maybe there'll be a tutorial on the D-Res, you know, like I said, the pros do the D-Res, and that's in Assassin's Creed, you know, so maybe there might be a tutorial on how to do that, or just on how realistic it is to do something like that. A lot of stuff I learned how to do, I watched on YouTube myself, but it was always, you know, accents were super thick, or it was somebody, you know, who had did it at one point and then really follow up as far as like updates, and I was lost trying to figure out how they did these things. You know, they'd be like, hello, today we're going to be doing this, and follow me next time, and I'll see you in the next video. And it's like, okay, well, then I go to the next video and like there's nothing there. I'm like, why? So I've worked on making my own versions of these things just so it could be a little bit simpler. And if that works for you guys, go check out the videos, you know. And like I said, things update all the time, you know. I'm not a wizard. So just let me know, and I might be able to go back to some old videos and adjust some things, or, you know, maybe we can collab at some point and work on some future videos together. But yeah, that's basically my world, guys, right here. It's called Traversal. Like I said, the point of the game is to go from point A to point B, collecting key cards that are going to allow you to open up the breaker boxes to have the orbs inside. And once the orbs are all collected, you win the game. That is the concept. That is the premise of the game. And there is no death in the game. You can just pause and restart it. Ideally, at some point, if this became a full-fledged game, you'd want to have, like, different levels so it's not boring, ways to challenge yourself, and then more importantly, save points, right? So you can save your progress and come back at a later date. But for right now, I feel like pretty simple, and I wanted to make it to where a player could play it and have some challenge, but also not be too frustrated. So that was the goal. But yeah, wasn't a long stream, guys. Like I said, we just cleaned up a few things. I was kind of just talking about what we did. And why I did some of my stuff. So I need to save that. Always compile and save, guys. That's wait a minute. Why are you doing that? Just gotta make sure it's still working. Sorry, something look weird. Okay, cool. We're good. And everything still works. We can resume. And we can restart. I love it. That's great. Perfect. Yeah, you see how she was just like still floating, like she was like in A pose? I was like, what's going on? That was weird. She's good now though. We're good. Good to go. Save all. Oh, and then also, what I'll do in the next stream, guys, because I'm gonna go to bed. It's like 2 something here. I'm gonna clean these up, right? So essentially, what I'll do is I'll do stuff like this. We'll add the comment lines, and then we'll do that. Okay, so make it nice and pretty. All right, and then I'll probably do something cool, like maybe, I don't know, change the color, you know, to green or something, you know, because I want to show, hey, these ones work. You know, I do have a couple where I took them apart because they were not working, but they're good codes though, right? So this one was when you begin play. Okay, it's gonna call the PC control. Okay, and this is going to, this right here is gonna make the world derez. Okay, it's gonna be on the timeline with that, right? Oops, not meant to do that. Gonna be on the timeline, and I had it for 10.5 seconds. It's going to hit the control, it's going to delay for 20 seconds, and then after that, it's going to show the HUD. And then the HUD is going to be the regular map where it just shows the orbs being collected, right? But initially, I had where you click the button and it would do all that. But I found out that it'd be easier if I just did the begin play. So actually, I don't need that there, but we'll do that anyway. Okay, but anyway, that's what I'll do in my next stream, guys. I'm gonna clean all these things up and get them nice and looking good, and then we'll work on the next project. So we'll do that together. Save it all one more time. Cool. Actually, I'm at the head perspective. Okay, guys, that's it. That's it for the stream for this one. Like I said, it wasn't a long stream. Just wanted to show you guys my progress so far. Show you guys the updated version of it. Like I said, the last stream you guys saw, I was talking about all these things I wanted to do, but we weren't quite there yet. You know, the buildings still need to be cleaned up. The characters, I didn't show you guys too much, but the characters still weren't moving the way I wanted them to move. There was a lot of clutter everywhere. I needed to move the buildings over. There was a lot of little onesies and twosies. We didn't have this along here at all. That was not there. Oh, I do want to show you guys one thing real quick. I will show you this real quick. I'm going to show you the difference when I tell you about the derez. I'm going to show you something real quick. I just got to find, where is it at? I think it's here. Yep. So this is pretty cool. Make this smaller right here. I don't remember. 500. No, that ain't right. There you go. All right, so when I do this thing correct, actually, I took a picture of the settings I want to do, so I'll just show you guys because I'm trying to go off memory and I don't remember the settings I had for that. So give me 1 second. All right, here we go. $2,000, $1,500. There you go. Perfect. Man, my allergies are kicking my butt. Okay. Do y'all see how this looks? Like how that's so cool. Okay. However, you can't see the background. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks cool still. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks cool. We're gonna put this up here and we're just gonna play it. Like it looks cool still, right? It still looks good. And that looks really cool with the buildings, right? Like it's still like a fake world, like it's just been digital and whatnot. But you can't see the rest of the scenery, and I felt like that was kind of a waste. You know, because it's such a different game when you look at it this way. Like it looks cool. Like this looks really cool. It looks really cool, but it's such a different game. You know what I mean? It's such a different game. Like I said, if I could have had that, maybe with the buildings like that, but in the background was fine, it'd have been cool, you know, possibly. But it's just a different game. Even this scene right here, that looked really cool. It's not the same scene. It's just not at all. You know. Like I said, it looks cool. Like it looks really good. Like I still think that's pretty cool. And then it goes up a little bit because your camera angle's going too high. But it still looks cool. Like I said, I like that, but it's not I just don't think I think it takes way too much from it. And like I said, I gotta figure out these NPCs, get them a little bit better, because she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? But these people over here, it's like, bro, what are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all talking about? You know, what are y'all selling? You know, what is this? Girl Scout cookies? Like, what are we doing here? And look, she's gonna get caught up too. Check it out. And now she's stuck. You know, so what I'll probably do is, you know, I'll make it to where, actually, I kind of want to see if they're just doing that when they first start. I'm gonna see if I can do it real quick. We gotta see, because something right there. Because I feel like they keep getting stuck there. So I want to see if they do it when they first start. All right, let's go. Let's check them out real quick. Okay, so you see how they're all over here doing their thing? Everyone's separated, right? Everybody is gone doing their thing. Everyone's walking. Look at that. Magic. So they made that one. That's good. But it's this one, right? I think it's the trash cans getting them stuck. Oh no, look at that. See? They made it. So where y'all getting stuck at? Okay. Okay. Ah. And then she's gonna get busted up too. Yup. Yeah, I gotta figure out the garbage can and maybe make the street a little wider. And then she's gonna get busted up. They can't figure out life either. Okay, that's cool. It's good to get a little bit better perspective. And then she's hanging out too. And her nav mesh is trying to move, as you guys can see it, but it's like life's not figured out. And now they're about to be screwed too. Okay, cool. I'm gonna show you guys the nav mesh real quick, and then I'm gonna call it. Alright, so you see that? I made the square, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. What I probably need to do, honestly, is make this one wider so they can do that. So watch, we're gonna just make it wide just to show you guys real quick. I guarantee you they're not gonna have that problem getting stuck. However, they're gonna be walking on the street, which is what I don't want them to do. Okay, but watch. See, look, they're walking on the street because, you know, this is in the way. Dude, ain't no way, dude. Ain't no way. Nah. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you do that. Yeah, that ain't upside down. That ain't right. You know what I might just do? Actually, before I do that, before I do something I'm gonna be pissed off about, let me just make it really wide. So there's no reason why they can't do what they gotta do. Okay. Now, this should be fine. Bruh, ain't dude, come on. Y'all doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. Because everyone else got the program. Everyone else is walking correctly. I wonder, why are y'all 8 up? What makes you so special? I'll just delete you. All right, here we go. There we go. There we go. Y'all playing too much. Y'all playing too much. It was never that serious. Y'all playing too much. What y'all doing? It was never that serious. At all. At all. Like, y'all doing too much. It was never that serious. Oh my. Okay. Cheers. Yeah. I don't. Okay. So listen, this is what I'm going to do on the next stream. We're going to clean up the blueprints, okay? That will be number 1. So this next stream will be tomorrow, okay? Probably like around 9. Going to do an early one. So we're going to clean up this crap. First off, we're going to clean up the blue. Well, we'll do the blueprints first. Nah, screw that. I'm going to do this first. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this figured out. Okay? We're going to fix it because this is insane. This is insane. Okay? Lady, you have all this room out here and you're stuck on this light pole. Like, what are we doing? Girlfriend. But why? Everybody else got the program but you. You're the one 8 up. Why? You know what I mean? Look at all this stuff. They're doing just fine. You're good. She's doing just fine. She's good. You're doing just... Dude, man. Y'all doing the wrong thing today. Ah. You look at this. I didn't make this a fighting game. You guys would have been done. And now look, you're about to block her up. She should be okay though. She should be able to walk around. Exactly, because the nav mesh allows it. Why are y'all jacked up? I'm guessing there's something to do with this asset. It's probably like clipping on the bottom or something, and they're just stuck. Okay, so I gotta figure that part out. It shouldn't take too long. But anyway, we're gonna get the light poles figured out because this is insane. Okay, and then once the light poles are figured out, I'm gonna fix the blueprints, which is gonna be cool. We're gonna make them all nice and pretty, nice stuff, and then I'll work on my next part of this project. We'll make another world, okay, and it'll be. I will show you the world it's going to be. Excuse me. Where are you? Here you go. We're not going to save because I didn't like anything about that. Drink water. Where is my... Oh, you know what? I never moved it because I was worried about it screwing up, and I didn't think I needed to move it because I didn't care anymore. That's not that one either. That was called something weird. It's gonna be this one. Level 1. There we go. There she goes. All right. Cool. So the next world I'm gonna build is gonna be this. Okay, I'm super excited. So I'm gonna get done with the whole. We're gonna do it first. Figure out the whole light pole thing. Figure that part out. Even though the game's already been packaged and it's ready to go, we're gonna figure out that part so I can repackage it. Then I'm gonna also clean up my blueprints so when I put them on my portfolio, I can expand it. And I can show that hey, this is what everything's looking like. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to work on this map for the next stream. So I'm super excited. Okay. And just to give you guys a little teaser what it's going to look like, it's going to be this. Super excited, guys. I'm geeked up, okay? And we already have all our mechanics, so we don't have to worry about like adding in new ones. I will add this though. We will add swim. I want to add swimming. Swimming will be part of this thing. We are going to add a swim mechanic. Okay, we are going to do that. I'm going to add swimming. Did I mention I'm going to add swimming? Okay, we're going to add swimming. Swimming, okay? I like it. We're gonna fix this up. I'm super excited, guys. Like, oh man, I'm geeked up. I'm just like excited. You guys don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know. You don't even know. I'm super excited. I am ready. Yes, I'm ready. SpongeBob on this right now. Can we get up there, please? Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna... I should probably just exit out of that. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. And it's doing this because there's... I'm supposed to have a map on this one, and I don't because I took it off. Because it was being extra on the other map, I was doing. What we could do is... We'll worry about that next stream because we're gonna fix the problems as we go, as they come up. But yes, we're gonna. Oh my god, I'm so ready for this map, guys. This is the first one I was working on, essentially, right? And then I was like, well, geez, you know, I really want it to look cool, and I need to make part 2. And so I worked on the city because I knew it was gonna take forever. And then the city ended up becoming the map. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go back to this. I want it to be 3 different levels, guys. I want it to be a city like Cyberpunk, which you kind of saw. I want the next one to be like the wilderness, like on a distant planet, you know, so this theme but just really distant, if you will, like space-ish. And then I want the last part to be like in a training facility, like you're back at the place where this all started, essentially. But the player doesn't know this because they haven't got to that point. So I want all this stuff to be the thing, you know. I'm really excited. I'm super exciid, okay? And it's gonna fill out the maze game a little bit. I'm gonna add in a lot of the mechanics I had before. I'm gonna add in swimming, launch pad. I'm gonna add turret guns. Okay, I'm gonna add I'm gonna introduce lava. Okay. Um, Collapsing tiles, guys. Like, you run on the tiles and the tiles fall. Like, come on, dude. Let's go. I'm gonna add those things in there because it's gonna be really cool for the player. I'm gonna have restart buttons. Okay. I'm excited. Okay. I'm gonna have moving platforms where they're not just moving left, back and forth. They're gonna be moving up. You know. I'm gonna have real risk and reward for players. Like, I'm super excited. Like, when the player's running on the platform, like, and the tiles are collapsing, like, it's a one-time deal. It's not one of those things where it falls and comes back up. No, it just disappears, and then the player can swim in the water. Okay, and they can either traverse the place that way really quickly on the tiles, or if they don't, then they have to swim in the water, which is gonna take longer. Like, come on, I'm ready to go, guys. I'm excited. I might even have it to where it's on a timer, you know, where they have to complete this part at a certain time, otherwise that level restarts. So I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, there was one point when I first started doing game dev stuff, and I thought, you know, you shouldn't really tell people your ideas because they're just going to steal it and, like, you know, make it their own, and I guess be rich off it or whatever it might be. But I remember listening to somebody say this. I forgot his name. If I can remember, I'll, like, put his the video link in the description or whatever. But basically, he was saying was, and I've heard other people kind of say this too. So, but basically, it was like, don't be afraid of someone stealing your idea, because even if you have the same idea, it's not going to be the same game. Okay, that's anything, right? How many movies are there out there that people have a similar idea, but it's a different stinking movie? You know, like, case in point, how many racing car games are there? There's quite a bit, but they're all different games, right? How many fighting games are there out there? There's Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Virtua Fighter, you know, Guilty Gear, I think Granberry Blue, I think it is. There's a lot of fighting games out there. DBZ Fighters, you know what I'm saying? These are all fighting games, right? They have the same premise, right? You know, 2D, 3D, whatever, but they're fighting games. But they're all different games, you know what I mean? So at first I was initially worried, you know, because I was beginning with all this stuff. I thought, well, it's my ideas, like some Gollum stuff, like, my precious. But then I realized it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because we could have the same concept or same idea, but how we're going to present it's going to be different. It'll always be different, you know what I'm saying? That's like seeing something, get different perspectives of the same thing, you know? It's always going to be different. There might be some similarities, sure, because, I mean, you can only make something so different, but it's okay, because there's always going to be someone else who does something a little bit different. Always. It has to be. That's what makes people people. Now, if we were all robots, you know, going off a tangent, then of course it would be the same, because, like, it's the only one way to do it logically, right? But for people, there's so many different inspirations, like, it's stupid. Like, someone could have made the same exact map that I did, and it would have been different because of my references and my childhood and what I decided to do at that moment. The stuff you guys saw in that previous map, a lot of stuff was done, like, with an hour left before it was due, okay? Like, literally. Well, I'd say about 2 hours before it was due. Which is insane, right? Because that's a lot of stuff to do last minute. Like, I shouldn't have added in the slow-mo last minute, right? Technically. I shouldn't have added in the different types of launch pads last minute, right? I shouldn't have added in the D-Res last minute. Like, the D-Res took forever. When I say forever, bruh, forever, okay? Like, the video I watched to do that, to do a different version of that, was like 40 minutes long, okay? And this person's accent was dumb thick. And it's like, it's 5 years old, okay? Long, right? It took me like 2 hours and some change, right? Because I was copying what he was doing and applying it to my project, right? So that's just how it works when you're doing game design, right? Like, you see something and you apply it to your work, right? No one just comes up and just starts doing stuff on their own. That's craziness, right? You have to apply techniques that you learn from other people's stuff, right? I didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, I know how to do time dilation. No. I saw someone do it and I thought, oh, cool, I want to bring it into my project. And then I do it now in my projects, you know? I don't use that mechanic the way they used it because that's how they wanted to use that mechanic, but I borrowed the formula to use it on my own projects. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how anything goes for the most part, unless it's something that's specifically tailored towards that genre of game, you know. And then at that point, you know, you can do stuff that are similar, but you're going to always be inspired by it. But regardless, the point I'm trying to say here is, I was watching this video. It took forever, okay? And probably shouldn't have done it because it was last minute, you know, but I really wanted to add it in there. And I wanted to add it in there from the start, but I almost didn't allot myself enough time to complete it, you know, because it wasn't working. Everything's messed up. I hadn't done this in a while, and I was getting frustrated, you know. So, you know, some things I learned from there was keep the scope relatively reasonable, maybe even shoot a little small, and then just fine tune on the small things, and then you can expand upon it at some point. You know, that was something I wish I had thought about, or at least I knew about it, but I wish I had kind of paid more attention to it as I was working on my work. But yeah, like I said, tomorrow we'll do another stream. I'm gonna button up, I'm gonna clean these things up a little bit, and then excuse me, sorry. And then we're gonna work on this next project. Okay, like I said, we're gonna be doing this level right here. I'm excited. We're going to start making it look really cool, and I'm going to add in different music. You know, I'm gonna have a different vibe than the first one was. So I'm super excited. I don't know if we'll do the D-Res coming in. I don't know if it'll be necessary because you're in another planet, another world. We'll figure something out, but I'm excited, guys. I'm really excited. Like, this was the one I wanted to work on initially. I have a lot of great ideas for games I want to work on. And like I said, I'll show you my other streams, some other games, because I got like a 2D side-scroller game where you're a cat and you're traveling from point A to point B, you know, and you're collecting things and jumping on enemies, like some Super Mario stuff. So I'm excited. That one looks pretty cool. Let me see. I got another one where you're, well, I won't spoil that one because that one's like, that one's taking forever to kind of work on. But the premise of it is you're on a team. I guess you could play, you know, co-op if you felt like it, but basically you could choose between two classes. Okay, and one's like a wealthy class, and the other one's like a poor class, if you will. But the different classes have different attributes and augmentations, if you will, right? The wealthy class is the one that decides to use technology to their advantage. Okay, so they're gonna have fancy weapons like guns and knives and swords and stuff, really fancy stuff, right? And the poorer class, or whatever, the lower class, if you will, they're going to utilize the resources more. So they're going to have a higher survivability rate, right? So they're going to be doing stuff like that's more blunt, they're going to be more aggressive in their play style because they've had to fight for everything they've had, type deal. So I want that to be a thing. I'd like it to be the richer class, like I said, has mechanical stuff, weapons, science-y things, if you will. And I want their precision and critical rates to be I want their dexterity to be pretty good, but I want their critical rates to be super high, right? And because they're just fine-tuned, pinpoint accurate. But I want the lower class, the poorer class, I want them to be more of a, their damage is dumb strong. Like, they're just like super high damage, super heavy stuff. Like, they just like, we're here, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, those are my thoughts. But thanks for coming out to the stream. I appreciate it. You know, if you guys like this video, I'm gonna have it on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Twitch or you're seeing this on YouTube, go onto my Twitch, follow me. You know, let's make some games together. Let's learn together. And when I'm done with school, you know, I want to dedicate my channel a lot more to some of the games I want to work on. You know, I want to build some games with my fans or slash followers slash subs or whatever, but I want to just build some games with y'all. I figured, let's make a game that we all want to play versus a game that someone else wants to play and we're just told it's a good game. I think that's one of the things about the industry that frustrates me to this day. It's a lot of these games just kind of seem hollow, you know, and then when you get a game that comes out of nowhere and there's a lot of love and effort put into it, people really swarm to it because it's like, we kind of miss that. But those companies don't have the big backing like the bigger companies do, and at that point, it's kind of it's a short-lived story, if you will, you know. But like I said, I'm gonna close down the stream. I'll hit you guys up tomorrow. I'll add in some Q&A segments. We'll just do chat about, you know, indie companies, big companies, and from what I'm seeing as a newcomer to all this, and where I think we all fit in as gamers. But anyway, yeah, thanks for coming out. See y'all next time, and you guys have a great night. Later.